Hello, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. Be very welcome to today's talk, where together with Irena Castle from Overbound Athletics, we're going to talk about increasing your peripheral vision. And she's going to tell us about it and how to use some new and specific tools for natural vision improvement to do that. Irena, you are a vision educator. You're also an inventor, and we met each other in the network of worldwide vision educators. And we are actually at this moment collaborating, writing chapters for a collective book that is going to be published hopefully within 2023, the Anthology of Natural Vision Improvement. So you are a very appreciated colleague in general in the niche, in our little world of natural vision improvement. And I think I can say that you're a good friend by now with the collaborations that we've been having. So it's a very, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce you today to the community. There's people who are watching on YouTube, on Facebook, through a page. So we're being seen in several places at once with the magic of StreamYard. And I'll be paying attention to comments, questions appearing. And we always like to know where you are watching from. If you are here today, maybe you want to drop a little comment in the chat. And then we know where the audience is today. For example, we have someone from Trinidad Tobago today and from West Africa. Anyway, we'll be seeing this appear. So, Irena, what do you have today for us? Do you want to share? Do you want to tell us?
Sure thing. Well, first of all, thank you for having me back, Ainhoa. I'm very honored and happy to be able to speak to your audience and your students. I am going to talk today about selective vision obstruction. I'm going to talk about field of view, different angles of view, peripheral vision, central vision. And then at the end, I am going to show you a tool that I have introduced to the world about a year ago now. And that is helping now students in about 28 countries around the world to learn and practice their techniques of natural vision improvement and improve their peripheral vision, but other skills as well. So kind of lots on the agenda.
Can I say something before we dive into the presentation?
Oh, sure.
So if you are on YouTube, you may want to consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And otherwise, the link is youtube.com/clearsight method, because we're going to be sharing, like today, other talks with natural vision improvement teachers. And we always share valuable information. So you want to probably be aware of it. You can also follow us in Facebook, clearsightmethod.com/Facebook. And besides, and before we start, we dive in, you may even want to share with your family and friends so that they can hop in, they can join in for today's talk. You can share it now and they can join, or you can also share later and they can watch the recording. So thank you, Irena. If you want, you can start. And
All
I'll be
right,
paying
so let's
attention at
make sure we
comments
can
and
share
questions.
the presentation. We will be using some slides to support the talk. And I don't think that we have it yet.
Okay, I think it's here now.
There we go.
There.
All right, very good. So we will be jumping a little bit in and out of the presentation just to support the talk and so that you have something visual to look at, right? Because that's why we are here. Let me spend the first minute or so to introduce myself. Some people have already heard me talk. Some people are here, again, and have seen the previous conversations that me and Dr. Ainhoa have had. But if you haven't, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself so that you know who you're talking to or who you're listening to in this case. So first of all, I am a mom. I have two boys who are very avid soccer players. We have a dog that hopefully is not going to jump into this conversation today. I have a husband. His name is Chris, and we live in Columbus, Ohio. I am originally from the Czech Republic, but I have been here for the last 15 years. Because of my boys, I am a soccer mom, being on the soccer field all the time. And I also like other sports. I like running. I love skiing, and I actually love the cold weather. Right. So that is kind of ending right now, but that defines me a little bit. I just like being outdoors a ton. I have come to natural vision improvement through a project that I started because of my boys. When my boys were playing soccer at a little bit younger age, my husband and I noticed that they were so focused on the ball that they never looked around, and they never paid attention to the full game of soccer. And so they were missing the opportunity to pass. They didn't know where their other players were. And so I started coming up with a solution, a program, and a tool that would teach them how to develop their spatial awareness, their field awareness. And that was my first encounter with vision development. Well, from there, it expanded. And as soon as I came over natural vision improvement, I completely fell in love with it. I found it absolutely fascinating and so related to the work that I was already doing for the athletes that I started to study it, and over time became a certified natural vision improvement coach. Since then, I founded overboundeyesight.com, which focuses on natural vision improvement. And the project that I started to develop a tool that would help improve one's peripheral vision actually expanded significantly and has gained a much larger, broader scope, so that the same tool can be used for the development of many other skills, vision skills, that are part of ultimately any natural vision improvement program, and a clear sight method included, right? So that is why I am here. That is a little bit of my journey, a little bit of my background. I hope you can feel that I am super passionate about this. And not only am I passionate about natural vision improvement, but I am passionate about making the journey as effective and as efficient and easy as possible. And that is kind of my role. That is how I enter the community. And that is what I've been bringing to the table, in addition to, teaching my students.
And if I may say something, so this tool that you've invented and you've been putting out in the world for about a year now, I'm always advising and recommending it to all my Clear Sight Method students and participants. So we're doing this talk with you and introducing you to the community regularly, like about every time we have a new group, because these tools are really, really useful. But you'll have the opportunity to talk about it. So
yes, thank you. And we just want to explain, obviously, what it's for and how best to use it, right? All right. So I said that we were going to start with a little recap, right? To make sure that you understand selective vision obstruction and the tool, I want us to focus first on what you probably already know, and that is a little bit of how we see. You know that in our eyes, we have, in the retina, we have two different visual receptors, the cones and the rods. And as you can see over here in the picture, and again, you might have already seen it before, the cones are focused in one very central spot around fovea centralis. And the cones are the ones that allow us to see clearly, to read, to focus on a tiny little object, right? And then we have the other visual receptors, the rods, that are also kind of spiking a little bit in more of the central part of the eye, but at the same time, they're not trailing away, right? You see the cones in purple over here, completely trailing away, and their quantity in the corners of the eye is very, very small. The rods are present throughout the eye, and there is a lot more of them in the peripheral part of the eye, which is ultimately anywhere outside of central vision, right? So what does that mean? We have those different photoreceptors so that they so that they can allow us to have a very broad field of view. The field of view of a healthy person is somewhere between 200 and 220 degrees horizontally, right? And there are people who have tunnel vision and have a field of view that is very narrow, perhaps less than 100 degrees if it's an extreme situation. And there are people who have a broader field of view, and I will show that to you on the next slide. But in general, we have about 200 to 220 degree of view, and we have binocular vision. We have two eyes. The two eyes have their own field of view that actually intersects in the middle and provides us with about 120 degrees of binocular vision. The rest of the view belongs to each eye separate, right? And then, as we already talked about it, we have the peripheral vision on the sides, and we have the central vision in the front. Now, when that was from the point of view of the horizontal vision field. Now, of course, our vision field is not flat, right? It is three-dimensional. And so we also have the vertical field of view, and we can see about 60 degrees up from the eye line, and then about 70 to 75% down. So you can test it out, right? You can shake your hands above your head, or you can see if you can actually be aware of your feet. And that's going to tell you how good and how wide your field of view is from the horizontal perspective. And again, there is a central point, and then there is the peripheral part of that view. So how does it look in a little bit more graphic kind of interpretation? So in this slide, you can see, obviously, the central view is in the center, but then you can see that we have a 360 degrees of peripheral view. We have the lower periphery, the upper periphery, and then the part that is most commonly known, and that is the outer periphery. And there are different levels of it. There is the near periphery, which is about 30 degrees to each side from the point of fixation. And then you have the mid periphery, which is about 60 degrees. And then anything beyond that is called the far periphery. Now, if you are a student of natural vision improvement, over time, you will learn that the further and the better developed your peripheral vision is, the better your spatial awareness, the better your grounding in the space ultimately. And you will realize that it is not only the physical peripheral vision that you have, but there is also something beyond that. And I call that the sensorial periphery. The sensorial periphery is the one that cannot be provided by the eyes themselves, right? But because most of our vision is actually delivered by the brain, there is a lot more that we can be aware of, to the degree that we can swear that we can see what is behind us, what is, all the way far over one shoulder or the other shoulder, right? And that is called the sensorial periphery, that you cannot really see with your eyes, but you can sense it and you can visualize it with your brain. So all of that can be trained, and all of that is quite important as we talk about natural vision improvement, but also as we talk about how to develop these skills through selective vision obstruction. All right. So before we move to the next topic, let's just summarize and look at what these different parts of view do for us. So the central view, obviously, are providing us focus, providing us clarity. So what we can do is read, write. We can look for objects. We can sort objects. We can recognize faces, right? So that is a very important function, and that is probably why most of you have joined clear sight method, because you want to see clearly better at larger distance, further away, closer to your face, depending on what your eyes are actually needing or asking for. Now there's the other part, the peripheral view, and that one is equally important. It's not what you have in mind when you start working on your vision, but it actually contributes a huge part or hugely to seeing in general. So it's great and very important for seeing context. You cannot really see clearly if you have tunnel vision, if you don't have any perception of space, right? It provides clarity in distance. Again, you will be looking into the distance in context, and that helps you with seeing clearly. It allows you spatial orientation. It's very important for balance, right? If you have good periphery, you're much more balanced, much less likely to fall. It's important in everyday life, for driving, for walking, for overall safety, right? It's really good to know that somebody is approaching you from a side, whether that could be just a friend or whether that could be an object of danger, right? And then peripheral vision is important for looking with ease. And Dr. Ainhoa, I'm sure, has already taught you that, how important it is to look in a relaxed way, look really, really easy. And with periphery, with staying aware of what is around you, not just in front of you, helps you look at the objects of your focus in a much more relaxed way.
Yeah,
All right?
yes, and I wanted to stress that actually being aware of the periphery and training your peripheral view really is extremely relaxing for the eyes, and the eyes need to be relaxed also for you to be able to focus and use your central vision better. So there really are many benefits about stimulating and being aware of the peripheral view that are not just those for the peripheral view, but because they also impact the quality of central vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that said, let's move to selective vision obstruction. What is that, and why do we even talk about it? So I will start by providing you with a definition. Selective vision obstruction ultimately means to intentionally limit a chosen area of one's vision field so that you could work and develop the parts of the vision field that remain unobstructed, that remain clear, right? On the picture, you can see an example where one eye is covered and the other eye is not. And the eye that is not is the one that is being practiced, exercised, or taught. It is a overarching technique, almost like a master technique to natural vision improvement and to vision therapy, right? What it does is it allows the other techniques, the techniques that teach you the individual skills, to become more predictable, to become more effective, to become consistent. And it also allows you to get feedback as you practice, okay? There we go. And as such, it can be used in ultimately any practice that reveals any common errors of refraction and many other visual problems. So I know that everybody is going to ask, is it for my, in quotes, problem, right? I am myopic, is it for me? I am farsighted, is it for me? I have old age vision, is it for me? And so on and so on. And because selective vision obstruction is ultimately an overarching, like a supportive technique to any other techniques in natural vision improvement, there are only very few exceptions to that, then the answer is yes, right? You focus on the practice of your technique and you use selective vision obstruction to make them more effective, to make them more enjoyable, and hopefully to make your vision journey a little bit faster. Right? Now, how does it work? So what happens is that with any natural vision techniques, you are trying to ultimately develop a new neural pathway between the eyes and the brain, right? Really between the retina and the brain. You're trying to reteach the brain how to interpret the signals that are being transmitted from the eyes through the optic nerve to the brain. And in order to do that most effectively, you need to eliminate distractions of any other stimuli. So I will give you an example. Imagine that you're studying something really hard, something you have never done before. And you're in your study in front of your computer or reading from a textbook, and a friend calls you and, need to have a 5-minute chat. So you have that 5-minute chat and you come back, and 3 minutes later, your child comes in and wants to have a snack. And then 5 minutes after that, your other child comes in, or your mother-in-law, whoever else interrupts you again. What's going to happen? You are going to be so frustrated. Suddenly, there are so many things that are coming your way and not allowing you to just read this paragraph, which is really, really tough to learn. And instead, you're just focused all over the place, right? And so instead of being in that situation, you shut the door, you put a Post-it on it, and you said, do not enter, right? And then you spend the next 20 minutes reading the paragraph and understanding the subject and moving forward, right? And after those 20 minutes, you will feel really accomplished because you were able to achieve something, you were able to learn something. This is exactly the same thing, right? Selective vision obstruction eliminates all of those friends and children and mothers and mother-in-laws and lets the part of the eye that is being taught how to see, right? That is being taught how to create this new connection with the brain to actually do it and do it on its own and do it in a manner where it can focus and it can really go after it. All right. So I have a tiny little video that kind of shows you how it works, and it just represents the thing that I just said. So in this video, you're seeing an example of peripheral vision development, where the central view is being covered by a shield, by an occluder. And you can see, I will play it again, you can see that the signals were going into the side of the vision field, right? They were coming from the side over here, and only those signals were then interpreted or being transmitted to the brain, right? So that means that only selected signals are actually being moved forward into the back of the visual system. So you can see it again, right? We covered the front, the central view, and now you see that it's only the red parts, the ones that were exposed to the visual signals, that are actually communicating with the brain. Everything that was part of the central view has been silenced. Okay. All right. So that's in general how it works. Now, there are two major types of selective vision obstruction: single eye and double eye or dual eye, right? And they mean exactly what they sound like. So the first one is selective vision obstruction that is for a single eye. What does that mean? That means that by covering one eye, we're allowing the other eye to work, right? So it looks kind of something like this. You have seen the other picture before. We cover one eye and we work with the other eye. Why do we do that? Why does it exist? Well, we talked at the beginning about the fact that we have two eyes and they are not the same. They have different points of view. They see different parts of vision field. And in fact, they kind of have different personalities and different abilities, and they learn in different ways, right? So we may have one eye that is perhaps a little shy, and we have one that is dominant and wants to talk and take over the seeing process. So in order to develop that eye properly, the one that is a little bit shy, we need to give it space. We need to allow it to actually find its way to communicate with the brain, finds its way to seeing, and gain confidence in taking a larger part in the seeing process. Imagine that we have Max. Max is very auditory, and then we have Sarah, and Sarah is very visual. Well, if I give a textbook and slides to Max and I give a recorded course to Sarah, they may learn, but it's going to take them much longer than if I do the opposite, if I give them what they need. So Max gets the tape and Sarah gets the slides, right? And we are trying to do this for the eyes as well, to give them space and allow them on their own to find the right connection with the brain and learn the individual skills that they are supposed to learn on their own, at their own pace, in a way that works for them, right? So single eye obstruction works for situations like lazy eye, like in situations when two eyes have very different acuity, but also in situations when one eye can perhaps pick up on a new skill faster than the other, or in order to maximize the skill. For example, as you're learning 3D vision, in order to maximize your ability to see 3D, it is extremely helpful if you let each eye work on that skill separately. They will never be individually as good as they will be together, but making them better on their own will bring you a better result at the end when they come together. The second type of selective vision obstruction is double eye obstruction. And again, that obviously means that we're covering both eyes, and it depends on how much. Sometimes we only cover a very small part of the vision field, the central vision, right? Like in this example right now, or we can cover as much as the whole field of view all the way through the mid-periphery, so that only this very, very far part of the peripheral view is available to us, right? And why do we do that? Well, first of all, this is the way to develop peripheral vision. You can't easily develop peripheral vision if your central vision is active, because it is going to interrupt the learning process. But it also helps in situations like seeing movement. If you cannot see movement easily, whether it's the opposite movement or any other movement, having an occluder helps you in realizing that some objects are coming in and out of the vision field as you move yourself. It's an excellent tool for eye-body coordination, and it's also an excellent tool for the development of a coordination between the two eyes. So that is when we bring them together. Sometimes we call it fusion, but there are other situations when they just come together and work on the seeing process and letting us see the world. All right. So that is just the basic of selective vision obstruction. Now I'm going to introduce the Clarity Eyesight Trainer. This is the tool that I developed initially for the peripheral vision training, but then adjusted so that it truly can be used for a very effective process of natural vision improvement. You can see in this little video what the glasses, we call them glasses, but it's really more like a goggle or tool, whatever you want to call it, but you can see what they look like. Now, why do we need a tool? Well, of course, you have the option of working on selective vision obstruction with any sort of occluder, right? You can go as simple as something like this, where you pat your eye with a Post-it. But what's going to happen is that anytime you do this, you're going to do it differently, right? And then your little Post-it is going to fall off. And next time you place it in, you're going to cover a different part of your face. And it's going to be more to the left and to the right. And it's going to curve more. So you're dealing with inconsistency, right? And like with any other training, you want to know and you want to have the tools that will allow you to do it as well as it can be done, right? So imagine that you go to the gym and you want to work on your biceps and you want to pick up a 1 pound weight, and suddenly that 1 pound weight is really not 1 pound, it's 1.5 pounds, right? Or imagine that, let's say you are learning playing the piano and you grab the music sheets, but the next time you grab them, there's a different music sheet in front of you. How easily are you going to learn, right? You will be so confused. So it is kind of the same thing over here in natural vision improvement. You want to have the right tools to help you learn properly. And that's why this tool is actually here. So in order to fulfill the need for single eye obstruction and for double eye obstruction, the Clarity Eyesight Trainer has 5 different shields. In order to be super efficient, the shields can be swapped in a second, just like this, because they have a magnetic attachment. So the shields, the individual shields, are attached to the frame with magnets. And as you can see over here, they each serve its own purpose. So let's go into the detail of that. So first of all, we said that for the single eye obstruction, we need to have monoshields. And of course, we have 2 different eyes. So we have a shield for the left eye, right? And then we have a shield for the right eye. Okay. What these shields are doing is that they cover the eye. They don't cover the periphery. They only cover the central view. They cover or rather, I should say, they don't cover the periphery fully. And I will speak about why that is important in just a moment, but I want you to notice this. The monoshields are very helpful for the practices like the swings and the sways. They're great for sunning, right? Maybe you're asking, well, why sunning? Because I'm sunning with my eyes closed. Well, some people are very light sensitive, and having one eye covered and working with the other eye limits the amount of input that comes through the optic nerve to the brain, right? So using monoshields for sunning is really great, especially at the beginning of your practice. Target on aims, right? We talked about that. That is for development of 3D vision. For tromboning, teaching each eye to be able to easily adjust as it moves from near to far, or rather as it focuses in the near and then in the far. For practices like shifting and many, many others. Okay. Then we have the third shield. The third shield is very narrow, covering only the central vision and leaving nearly all of the peripheral vision open, right? And that is this shield. It is numbered, or the shields are numbered or marked, and this one has number 1 because it is the most narrow. And what this shield does is that it eliminates the part of the vision field that is ultimately supplied by the eyes working together, but it lets the eyes to see most of everything that is around. Not totally, right? It is there are parts that are missing, but most of the vision field is open. And that is great for first training peripheral vision at the very beginning. So when a new student starts, it's nice to start slowly and letting the system adjust and start learning in the most easy way possible, right? So you kind of start there. But because not much of the peripheral vision is covered, you would quickly move to the shields that are going to be talked about next. But this one also serves for practices with throws at target, throws over your head, to really support the 3D vision and binocular vision. And then finally, the two main shields for the practice of peripheral vision, right? Shield number 2 and 3. So this is number 2 that covers fully the near periphery and a portion of the mid periphery, right? And then shield number 3 that truly helps you with expanding your peripheral view very, very far. All right. And they are used obviously for peripheral vision, but you can use them for practices like walking, hand waving, any passive peripheral development, and others. And you use them in sequence, right? You start with 1 perhaps, and then you go to 2 and you go to 3. So gradual increase in difficulty is really important. And I mentioned this at the beginning. We have been so lucky that we were able to ship this product to students around the world, and they seem to love it, right? They do try it and they're like, well, I've been used to using my homemade tools, but this is great. This is fantastic. There are students who tell us that they were not able to walk down the stairs easily, and suddenly they can. Right? There are students who say that they're used to see blurry lines all the time, or they didn't even see spaces between individual words. And just by allowing themselves to practice the techniques that they have learned in most likely other courses than the ones that I carry, but they just enhance their learning with these shields, and it helped them to achieve the results and achieve them much faster. All right. So before we get to questions and answers, I want to show you the science behind these shields. They were developed for this purpose. They are the only tool out there that I am aware of that actually, and that should be true because it is a patent pending tool, but it is a product that is extremely versatile, right? It supports nearly all of the techniques of natural vision improvement. It respects all the principles of natural vision improvement, right? It allows for gradual increase in difficulty. It is easy to use. It's fast to use. It's durable. And I would argue, and I may be a little biased, but I think that is aesthetically very pleasing, right? So if you wear them outdoors, you don't have to be ashamed. Now, what do I mean by respecting the principles of natural vision improvement? Well, first of all, no matter what you practice, no matter what technique you are focused on, you should allow yourself to be aware of where you are in your room, in your yard, in the space in general, right? Spatial awareness is critical. And as we said, spatial awareness is delivered to you, is allowed by peripheral vision. So all of these shields that we have just looked at are fully open on 3 different sides so that the upper, the lower, and the outer periphery on both sides can be used even when you are occluding the selected part of the vision. So you can see over here, I will let you see from the side that I can completely see over here. There is an openness over here at the bottom, and there is an openness over here on top, so that I stay aware of everything that is around me, even though I cannot see forward, right? So that is really important. If you compare that to the Post-it that I used previously, that is not the case. My upper periphery is closed, and then this periphery, the lower and side periphery, may still be open, but it's going to vary based on how I place the Post-it. All right, so that's one really important attribute. The next attribute that's really important is precision of obstruction as well as consistency. If you want to get feedback, if you want to know how you're progressing, if you want to know that you're doing a thing the right way, then you need to provide to your visual system an ability to consistently practice, to practice in the same manner, right? By having an occluder that is the same every single time you work with it, you eliminate the variation, you eliminate an aspect that is constantly changing. And that is huge because you know that when you practice your vision, there is already so much new stuff you're learning that the more constant you can have, the better. So this is helping you, this is providing the constant in your training. The other great benefit is that as you're learning in a group setting or with a teacher, your teacher has the same tool that you have, and they know exactly what it is that you're seeing and what it is that you're not, right? So that's another benefit. And of course, you know, they are very easy to work with. They switch the shields easily. But the biggest benefit truly is consistency, ability to provide you feedback. Now on this picture, just to make it clear, we're highlighting that we have 5 different shields in different colors. In fact, they're all black, right? Shields need to be black. You're trying to not necessarily mimic palming, but you're trying to calm the vision or the eye that is not working, right? And so we do that always with a black shield. So on this picture, you're only seeing it so that we would demonstrate further that there are different shields that are part of the system. All right. The other great thing is that the product is made in a way that can be leveraged indoors and outdoors, right? There are certain practices like walking or, shifting outdoors that allow you to not just be closed in a room, but really be outdoors and leverage the environment for learning how to see, especially if you're trying to learn to see into the distance. So the Clarity Trainer has these silicone arm grips, right? And they hold the product. I'm going to remove this shield so that I can see you. They hold the product in place so that as I am shaking my head or as I am jumping on a trampoline, right, they stay where they need to stay. Now, if you're working with a small child, or if you're a person who has a very narrow head, for example, we also have this little strap that can be easily attached to the trainer, right? So if you do need this extra support to hold the product in place, you have that available. And if you haven't tried working on a trampoline, you should try it. It's really fun. All right. Yeah, that is the sports eyesight trainer in me who kind of likes to talk about that. All right. Well, and finally, right, we said there's no need to hide them. I mean, you have seen them. You have seen them on me. They're really well made. The design has been thought through. They can be worn for some extended time period if you need to do that. That would be mostly the case of the monoshields. But they're aesthetically quite nice. So if somebody sees you practicing in the park, you don't have to be ashamed. You may still be looked at in a funny way because people don't know what you're doing. But from the perspective of having a great tool and you can looking sharp, you would certainly be there. All right. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty end part. So the trainer comes in a case, right? It's a very, very sturdy case. You can see I'm pushing it, right? And there are slots over here for every single piece, right? So each lens has its own spot. Right, and then where did I put my glasses? There you go. right? There's also a little pocket over here where you can place the strap. You can place your instruction card that comes with it, or you can place any future line extensions that will be introduced at a later date. And we will touch on that today as well, right? So you have everything in one spot, ready to go. You don't have to deal with, random bags and plastic bags of different tools and stuff. Everything is ready to go as soon as you are ready to practice. All right. Now, what comes with it? So other than the case, so that you're organized, there is a program that accompanies the Eyesight trainer. The program gives you information about vision improvement basics. It teaches you vision improvement basics. It teaches you how to use this trainer, what techniques to use it with and when and for. And it also includes many sports-inspired techniques, right? I like to work with juggling balls and develop peripheral vision with juggling balls, develop the vision habit of following your eyes with your head. All of these different things are part of the program. The program is free for life, but only until the end of this month, right? We launched the product in March 2022. And for the first full year, this program is free. So for those students who purchase Clarity Eyesight Trainer before March 31st, they will get access to this Clarity Eyesight training for free for life, right? The conditions are going to change starting on April 1st, but right now, this is part of the offer and valued at around $97. Right? And the access to that training comes with the trainer. There's a little card that comes in it, right? And there is a little plastic card inside, and it has a code on it. And if you use that code as you sign into the program, you will be let in. The codes are unique for every single product, so it will be unique to you, right? If we have anybody here who is not a native English speaker, the program is in English. However, it is a program that doesn't really use spoken language. There's a lot of GIFs. There's a lot of other visual explanations of the different techniques. And there's also written explanations. And it is done in a way that can be auto-translated, right? So while the program is in English, whoever comes in can ultimately get it translated into their own native language. So I think that's a great benefit, but like I said, it does not have a spoken language. All right, and that's ultimately all about the bundle of the Clarity Eyesight Trainer, all about the main attribute of the product and how it serves selective vision obstruction. Now, because I am here today with Dr. Ainhoa, I want to offer you a $10 coupon if you decide to buy Clarity Eyesight Trainer by the end of this Sunday, March 5th, right? The regular price of the trainer, of the whole bundle, which includes obviously the frame, the 5 shields, the case, and the program, is $147. And so it would take $10 off of that if you use the coupon Ainhoa10. And if you click on the link bit.ly/clarity Ainhoa. And we're showing that on the screen so you can see that. You can also see on this page that I have a client who said that the glasses are wonderful. And thank you for this incredible product. And the program is so well done, clear, and useful. Right? I have other testimonials, but I like to include just a few so that you would know that there are people out there who love it and who have benefited from this very, very well. Okay. All right, so we are going to get to questions. There are always a lot of questions. So I am here to answer any and all of them. Um, as part of or during the questions, we will touch on one more thing. But for now, I think I would like to open the floor to anything that you guys would like to know.
Okay, I see in the chat a couple of comments. Well, Jody was saying, I would love to own a pair of these vision improvement glasses. So here you have the link where you can go and use the coupon, and then you have the $10 discount until the 5th of March. Plus, if you purchase the product before the end of the month, you get also the training course for free. So only early adopters for this first year can get this. So it would be very smart to do it. I have plenty of students who have acquired the Clarity trainers, and they're very, very pleased with the object itself. And also they like the program that goes with it very much because it gives them plenty of ideas on how to use them that are in addition to what I teach in the ClearSight method. So it's really a very good combination. And I'm seeing Shelley, who says, I bought the Clarity trainers and it only took a few weeks to arrive in Australia. It was very fast. Now, because you, Irena, are such a professional and you like to really honor your word, this time we're not doing this webinar in Spanish because there were some issues with sending the trainers to a few countries. And so you really wanted to sort everything out before offering them again in Spanish. So in English, we have the certainty that it may took a little bit longer, a little bit faster, but they're going to get there. Oh, and
Yeah.
yes, we'll get them.
I think we should actually cover that. I think that's a great spot to pause and talk about international shipping. I know we have a lot of people here today from the US, right? So it doesn't apply to you. We do have a warehouse in the US, and so the US shipping is easy. With the $10 discount, your shipping is ultimately free, right? So that is for the US. But for customers who are outside of the United States, I want to call out one thing, right? The price in the shop, $147 minus your discount of $10, covers the price of the product. You will be charged shipping to your country, obviously, but the important point or important thing to call out is that from that moment, you have become an importer. As an importer, you have the obligation to follow the import process of your country, which in some countries seems to be really complicated, and in most countries it is not, right? What it entitles is that the product comes to your country, it comes to the customs office, and you will receive some information from the customs office, and they would ask you to pay customs duty, which is ultimately import fees or import charges. In Europe, that also includes the value added tax, because there is no tax added on our end here in the US, right? And once you take care of that, once you pay it, then they will deliver the product, they will give it back to the post office or the courier, and they will let you have it, right? But I just want to call it out. It is a little bit of a process, and you need to be aware of it, and you need to follow it. Whether you get notified by email that you supply as you order the product, or whether you receive a little leaflet in your mailbox, like physical type of notification, just make sure that you follow it, that you pay attention to it, that you try to track the product as well as possible. In some countries, it is easier than in others. And we do everything we can to send the product quickly. We give it all the information that it requires, but then the import process is on your end and your responsibility, because like I said, it is different in every country, and legally you are the importer, so you need to take care of it. All right.
Okay, I'm seeing a question from Janice Johnson, and you knew this was coming. The question is, will you be introducing pinhole lenses? So that's one of them. And also, is the device lightweight on the nose? Is the magnet on the nose piece or on the shields? And she also thanks for your presentation. So here you have a couple of
So
questions.
you mean something like this, right?
Wait, I'm gonna just show you.
So yeah, the answer is yes. So what you just saw was one of the final prototypes of a pinhole lens, and the pinhole lens fits in. This is, again, it's a prototype, but it fits into the same shield. So it's just an extension. Now, of course, this is a prototype. It's not final. It's not the right color. It's going to be in black. But yes, we are finalizing the design of the pinhole lenses. We believe that once introduced, it's going to be the best pinhole lens in the market, having so many features that the current products that you can buy from Amazon or elsewhere, Walmart, right, don't have. And I have actually had a conversation with Dr. Ainhoa about some of these features that we want these glasses to have. So the question is yes, I am currently targeting a release this summer. Right, so fingers crossed, everything goes right, and we will finalize this release, and we will be able to start shipping it this summer. And by then, we are also working on establishing a distribution center in Europe that would allow us to more easily, supply the customers who are in that part of the world.
On the pinhole glasses, I would like to add a couple of things too. And one is that we did have a conversation about them, but you haven't just had a conversation with me. You have been doing research, interviewing some of the greatest vision educators in the world to make sure that what you are creating will really fit the needs of the design, the proper design of pinhole glasses. And I agree with you. Once they're made, I think they're going to be the best ones in the market, considering how much care you put into the production and how well you have done your research. Chris is asking, and I would like to ask you to show them again, if the holes have different sizes, which is one of the questions.
So let me not go into too much detail yet. The answer is yes, but there are many different reasons for why that is happening. So I think when they are ready, we should come back and have a true presentation of what these glasses look like, why they were designed the way they were, and who they can serve. But what I can tell you is that the objective is that this lens is suitable for those who are looking to expand their vision in the distance, but also those who are looking to regain their near vision. And that is a feature that is ultimately omitted in all the pinhole lenses that I have tried currently. So lots of little details, and I will be happy to come back and we will make a good reveal of the product, as well as present the reasons why they were put together in the way they were, with the asks and the opinions of other vision teachers that were part of the project. Now, so this is just a little preview, right?
Yes. So this means that we almost already have an appointment for whenever they're released in the summer, so that we can do another presentation with all the extensions, including the pinhole glasses. And now I would really like you, even if you agree, to show them again just once, even though it's the prototype, because
I will, but it's a prototype, so don't hold me accountable.
Wait a second.
You can hold me accountable for putting them to market, but this is not the final design, okay?
It's possible to see that it has different sizes and things. Okay.
And I know that there was another half of the question that was asked, but since we're talking about line extensions, there is another one that is currently being prepared. And again, fingers crossed, it's going to launch at the same time. And that is a nose card holder. That is actually the first line extension that I decided to make, because when I first encountered natural vision improvement, that piece of the learning was the most frustrating for me, because ultimately I was asked to use something like a Play-Doh, right, or sticky paste or something to attach a card to a frame of cheap sunglasses I would buy in a dollar store. But the problem is that it never stayed in place. and it was falling off all the time. And and every time it was different, and it was just super frustrating. So this line extension is for me, and I think it's going to be also very great for many people. It again has additional features that were requested by some of the vision teachers that you cannot achieve with your own product. So we will reveal everything soon, but that is another extension that I wanted to show you. And everything fits into the same frame. So I will answer the other half of the question that we were asked, right? So you can see over here that there are magnets on each of the lenses, right? And there are also magnets over here inside. They're very small inside the frame. And so as we put it together, right, this way, the magnets attach to each other, right? And they just hold, right? So it's super easy, and that is going to be true on the pinhole lens as well as on the nose card holder. So you only need this one frame, and you just keep changing the lenses so that you wouldn't have to have a ton of different tools all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, as these line extensions get launched, you know that you already have this pocket over here where you can place any additional lenses or any additional cards, right? With the nose card holder, there's going to be a set of different cards because everybody has different color preferences when they learn. So you will be able to place them over here.
Even you can fit in the box one of the balls. Maybe you want to tell about this, because you also put some thought into designing the balls for practice.
Sure.
Right?
So yes, that is not the product that is necessary for selective vision obstruction, but I love using all sorts of different balls, including juggling balls and including the actual technique of juggling to teach certain habits and certain vision skills. And for that purpose, I developed a juggling ball that has different textures and different colors on different sides of the ball, so that it would attract the eye, so that it would allow the person who is working with it to really pay attention to it and learn and benefit from different contrast and such. So the balls are made from artificial leather. They are shiny and with a bright color on some of the panels, and then they are matte and white on some of the other panels. And they also have letters on them. Hold on, let me see. Right? So that as you play with them, and for example, they fall on the floor or on the ground and you pick them up, you can use them for the purpose of improving your vision. They're 94 grams each. They're filled with natural millet. So they're kind of eco-friendly from that perspective. We do not fill them with plastic beads. And the great benefit of them is that they don't bounce. So you can see over here that they just stay in my hand, right? And so even if they fall, they're not going to roll away. So if you like to use balls for your practice, for learning some of the techniques, if you are developing, let's say, peripheral vision with movement, right, which is what we do, right, then using balls that are suitable for this purpose is a great thing. And they come in a pouch and packaged by 3, so that if you decide that you actually want to juggle, you have enough balls for juggling.
And if you want to carry just one for stimulation, the one fits in the box as well. You can put it there. I don't think there's space for the 3, but the one would be in the package very nicely. There's a few more questions. Also, for those who want to buy them, I would like to show the process at some point in time. Maybe we can do it now since we're talking about it. Let me see, because we're experimenting with this platform. It's the first time we're doing this here. let me share screen and let me share, let's see. I wanted, yes, this one. So some of you are watching the presentation in a page like this, yeah, the ClearSight method page, and there is a button here and the reminder of the promo code Ainhoa10 at the checkout so that you get the discount. And some of you have been seeing the bit.ly link that brings you directly to what I'm going to click on now. Can you see still the page? Yes. Irena, are you seeing?
I do not see any page. No.
Oh, you don't see anything? Let me see. Shoot. Okay, let me see. So nobody's seeing what I'm showing? No, it is. It says that it is shown. So I don't know.
I do not see it. I don't know about
Maybe
anyone
it's us.
else.
Because here it says it's being shared in StreamYard and stop sharing. So maybe you can write it in the chat. Are you seeing it? Okay, anyway, I'm going to do as if people were seeing. So you'll get into this page where you have the clarity trainers and you can write how many of them do you want. Do you want one pair for you or do you want to have a couple more?
I know. I think Tina is saying that she's not seeing it. So I wonder whether it is actually showing. Not
Okay,
seeing.
well, then it's, I don't know. Then I'm not seeing the feature. Yeah, so we're not being able
Well,
to
let me see if maybe I can show it. I don't
Okay.
know why that would be different, but
you can give it a try.
Let me see if I can share screen, this new tab.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can we see it? You know, do we have to jump out of this view? Yep. Okay. So maybe
you can use the bit.ly, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. So let me. The only thing
I'm
is
seeing
that
your
it may not
screen
be.
now.
Bit.ly clarity. Ainhoa. Okay. There we go. Is it doing anything? All right.
Yes, there it is.
So you didn't see me. I don't think you saw me put it in, but I put in bit.ly/clarity Ainhoa, and I'm going to click this out, right? And so what you're going to see when you come to the shop is obviously the Clarity Eyesight Trainer. And then if you scroll down, you can also see a couple other product. One of them is the training balls, right, where you can learn more about them. The other one is the Clarity Trainer in a small collection edition, which is exactly the same as the one that I have been showing you, but it is presented in a super bright pink color. It's a very limited quantity that we have made, and we have a few left, not very many. So it comes kind of in this very bright color, and the product itself, you can see here, right, has all of these different pink embellishments. So everything that is orange in the other ones is pink on these. So you can have a look at that. So you see these two products, right? And so what you do is, if you want to buy the Clarity Eyesight Trainer, you click, you put a quantity here. Let's assume that you want one, right? You will click Add Item to Cart. And now it says Added. And what happens is that it should have updated here, and it's too slow. Oh, come on. Sorry. It feels like it's a little slow. So let's try again. Clarity Eyesight Trainer. Now
there it is. Yes.
All right, there we go. All right, sorry, it's a little slow on my end right now. So I click on the card over here on top, and it will take me to this page.
Yes.
Right? And so now I can go, either I go back to the shop and I can add more products, right? Like the training balls, or I just go to checkout.
Yeah, I want you to show that so that we can see where to put the code so that people can have
Sure.
the
Yes.
coupon
So we will
discount.
go ahead and yes. So let's go ahead and do that, right?
Mhm.
So before you move forward, it's very important that you check the quantity, right? Every once in a while, mistakes happen. So just make sure that you check the quantity so that you don't end up ordering 3 when you just wanted 1 or vice versa.
Mhm.
Okay. I think it's slowed down by the streaming.
Oh,
All
it's
right, there we
possible.
go.
Yeah.
So once you click on the checkout, right, you will have to put an email over here. So let me put connect at Overbound Athletics, right? And then continue, right? And then I'm going to be ordering for the US. So I already have the delivery option here. I'm going to put Irena Castle address 123. There we go. And the zip code. There we go. And then we are in Columbus or Royce Center. There we go. And then phone number. Please put your phone number, especially if you're shipping abroad.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we will go here, right? And then you have a bunch of acknowledgements. It is really important to pay attention again, especially if you're shipping abroad, right? So the first
Mhm.
one just asks you to understand that we communicate in English. So if English is not your first language, please do not expect me to speak Hungarian, right? But I would be happy to serve you in English as much as I can. Now here is the import charges. We already talked about it. So you have to click on all of these policies, our refund policy, as well as understanding that if you ship abroad, it may take a long time. Now this particular acknowledgement says up to 3 months. We have seen much faster shipping
Yeah.
in the last wave. So it's probably exaggerated, but
Mhm.
it may be longer than just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So you,
Most of my students are saying that within a week or two they have received them. So that's
yeah.
what the experience of most people has been. So yeah.
Very good. And in the US, you will have it the same week, most likely, right? We ship from Ohio. So if you are in California, it may take a few days, but we are able to dispatch orders within 2 days, and then the shipping goes quite fast. All right. Then you put your payment information here, and here is where you put the discount code right
Mhm.
here. So here you would put Ainhoa. Nine.
Put the H in
Sorry.
the right place. A
Yes,
I
I'm
N
sorry.
H
I'm
O
not,
A
yeah, I
10.
don't cover it. All right,
Sorry,
right? And
I
we
don't have
would
a practical brain.
apply.
Yeah.
And when we
Mhm.
apply, look what has happened right here on the right
Maybe
side. You see that shipping for me was $10 and discount is $10,
maybe
right?
you
So,
can make that a bit bigger in like
oh,
zoom
I,
the on your computer. Uh,
I
i- i-
don't,
if
I
you have
don't
a Mac,
think,
it would be Command Plus. Okay, if you don't have the option, it's
I do
okay.
not have that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think
Sorry.
I think it was easy enough where to put the
Yeah,
discount
but you
code.
can even see it here. It says $10 of coupon for Dr. Ainhoa, right? Save
Hmm.
$10 on any order over certain value. So you have the coupon here. It shows over here. Now, because I am I put an Ohio address over here. A sales tax pop up. So if you are in Ohio, you will pay a sales tax. If you are anywhere else in the US, you will not, because we only have established business here in Ohio, right? So your total, if you were not in Ohio, would actually show as $137.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you just continue your review, your purchase. I would have to put the credit card number in to move forward, but just make sure again that you review your purchase, you see the products that you're buying and the quantity, and then you just submit.
Yay! Well, Jody says, I ordered them again, ladies. Thank you so much. And Jennifer was saying, we love the hot pink one. Yay! So great for that. We're not seeing
Very
you.
good.
Okay.
Very good. So
So
what
there's a
about
few.
other questions?
Yes, there are a few more questions. So Jennifer Williams is asking, will these glasses help correct my old/reading glass problem, or should I focus primarily on your exercises first, which will make the biggest impact? So let me say something. The clarity trainers are a tool that complement any natural vision improvement course that you want to take. I think we agree on that, right?
Absolutely.
You want to use them, but you want to use them in the context of following a training of natural vision improvement. They're a piece of the puzzle, a very important and useful piece, but you need to use them in constellation and combination of all the other learning. So if it were me answering, I would say follow the program, follow the ClearSight method. And when in the ClearSight method, we talk about the selective obstruction, then you will want to use these better than the Post-its. And you will want to be using these kinds of balls better than a regular tennis ball. That's what I would answer. What would be your take?
That is exactly right, right? I said during the presentation that this is an overarching technique. That means that if you just take these glasses and you put them on, in most cases, they won't do much, right? You have to use them the right way. Now, the mono shields, you can use them for extended period of time, just as you walk around the house. Now, there's safety that is very imperative and that you have to pay attention to, but overall you can do that and you can benefit from it. But in most cases you want to use them specifically for the techniques that are part of the ClearSight method and natural vision improvement in general, so that you would practice the techniques better, with better precision, consistently every day, right? Or anytime you get to it. So it doesn't replace your practices. It ultimately amplifies or enhances what you're already doing.
Yes. Okay, there's more questions here. Let me see. Okay, I have. Yeah, so Stanley is asking, I have to do a vitrectomy. What do you recommend to gain my central vision back? Okay, we're a bit beyond the scope of the clarity trainers use, but since you're asking and you're here, so these are the cases where you will need to first follow the instructions of your ophthalmologist, and the ophthalmologist is going to perform this surgery and will recommend a period of resting convalescence that you need to respect. And once that you have respected those indications, then you can start practicing natural vision improvement techniques, and they will help a lot for the recovery of the eyes, and they will stimulate again your visual system and will allow for as much recovery as possible. What would be your take on this as well, Irena?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
And of course, these tools are going to be useful in the process. It won't be the only thing that you will need, because they're more thought for the periphery. And we said that the periphery and the central vision do have some relationship that you want to respect and encourage. But you'll also want to do other practices that are focusing on the central vision as well.
The mono lenses will be good for the center vision, and then the
Absolutely.
narrow lens, once you want to start practicing bringing the eyes back together, making sure that they both work and participate in the act of seeing in the same manner.
Okay, and you're saying, so it's still Stanley, I cannot do surgery as my retinal is very thin and the retinal is stretched. Well, actually, when you practice natural vision improvement, our experience is that it gets your eyes in shape. So actually, first the function improves. So you start having a better visual experience. And if you keep practicing and you persevere, then the structure improves and your eyes start being better and better. And that would be true also if you started practicing yoga, for example, or any other discipline that involves the body, like athletes or others. So maybe one day you're having back problem and you say, okay, let's take some yoga classes. And the first day you're supposed to touch your toes and you're like, I cannot reach, they're too far. And maybe by the third session, now you can touch the toes. The function has improved. But before your body is like super balanced and all the muscles are great and you are happy to show yourselves in the swimming suit in the summer, etc. Maybe you need to practice for a few months to achieve that. With the eyes, it's the same. As you start practicing natural vision improvement, you will first notice that your eyesight is improving, that your experience of seeing is improving. And over time, the actual state of the structures of your eyes are going to improve as well. So, Stanley, if you have these issues, I would recommend that you start some process with a certified natural vision educator or with a program that can walk you through this, as well as following the indications of your ophthalmologist. Because if you have some serious issues, you also want to have that checked along the way.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, Shelley is asking, did we say this? Do you recommend following the self-study guide from start to finish or going straight to your eye symptoms? Any discussion on using the self-study? So when you're talking about the self-study guide, I don't know if you're talking about Irena's program. I'll let her tell about that. If you're talking about the ClearSight method, my recommendation is always to proceed in order. There has been 20 years of research put into thinking how to structure the program. So I would invite you to first learn the basics and the different levels of vision improvement. And once you have that understanding, then you're going to practice the exercises that are specific for the eye symptoms well. If you go to the eye symptoms directly and you do them without the understanding, they may actually not even be very helpful by themselves if you're not doing it right. So now about your program, what would you say?
I would say almost the same thing, right? When a program is structured, there is a reason for why the chapters or sections follow one another. So I would say exactly the same thing. If you are following the self-study guide in the in the Clarity method, then or Clarity program, right? Then you start by just go at least if you're familiar with natural vision improvement, then at least go through it, right? You don't have to maybe read every single word, but go through it, understand what's in it and why different things are done certain way. It's very important to read the introduction chapters because they tell you why the things are being taught certain way and what to look for. And I would always, as you kind of look at the different practices, I would always read through the exercises, read through the watch outs and the different tips because they help you if you encounter some sort of difficulty, right? And they tell you, hey, this is kind of a common mistake, don't do that. Once you go through it once, then of course you can just jump to what is the most important for you and structure your practice in a way that respects the time that you have and respects the needs of your eyes.
Absolutely. Yay. And we have Jody, who was very active. Last time we had the free Wake Up Your Eyes 4-part masterclass. I remember you, Jody, from that time. And she's like, oh, I was on Facebook, but I jumped over here and I purchased the glasses. Very excited for the arrival. Good
Thank
for
you.
you. Great. And also, Jody is saying, everyone, remember to smash that like button. Click on the like button, share button. Yay. Thanks for reminding that. That's adorable of you. And actually, let me remind then, if you've been liking this talk with Irena, maybe you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/clearsight method. If you're already in the YouTube channel, you just need to click on the subscribe button and also click on the little bell button so that you get the notifications. You may want to follow us in Facebook if that's more like your territory. So we're in clearsightmethod.com/Facebook. If you've been interested, also you can share with your family and friends. And if you want to purchase the Clarity trainers, remember bit.ly/clarity-Ainhoa so that you can also get the benefit of having the discount of $10. Using the coupon Ainhoa10. And this coupon is valid until March the 5th. until this
Sunday.
Sunday, exactly, valid to through March 5th, Sunday at midnight Pacific time. So it's clear for all the time zones around everywhere. And if you do this during March, you get as a bonus Irena Castle's Clarity program, right? So you are among the lucky ones, the early adopters of this year. Now, sometimes I receive comments or questions about the process, about different things concerning the trainers, because this is not my product, it's Irena's product. So if you have some question, please contact at connect@overboundathletics.com. And I know that Irena will answer very quickly and very professionally whatever questions, requests, doubts about it. Did we say everything? Are there other?
I think the last thing is, if you do not remember everything, if you want to have a look at the Clarity Trainer again, you can always go to the website. The website is overboundeyesight.com, right? So you can go there, you can have a look, see the details of the product again, and then go to bit.ly/clarity-Ainhoa to purchase the product. And if you have any questions when you're on the website, all you have to do is scroll down, and there is a connect button at the bottom of each page. So you don't even have to remember the email address. It's right there, and you just click on it, and it will take you right into the space where we can ask the questions that you have.
Yay! So I'm not seeing any more questions or comments. Let me see. Maybe you have a look as well. I'm not seeing other questions. So I would like to thank you very much, Irena, for speaking with us today and showing us your amazing creation. I'm super happy that you have taken the time to do this design so professionally and so in such a caring way. As you see, I have them. I recommend them to my students, and I think I have like 4 packages of them, like for me, for my partner, for my parents. So they're really an amazing tool. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you. Plus, besides showing us these amazing tools, you also taught us, you shared with us a lot of the science behind not just how you made these tools, but why they're so useful for eyesight improvement and development. So we'll have to organize that other talk when your pinhole glasses and other extensions are ready, so you can share that with the world as well. In any
Excellent.
case, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure, and I wish you and your students to have a wonderful, wonderful session. And to everybody, I wish you that your eyesight improves fast and improves to the level that you hope for.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and as we always say, well, Shelly's here saying, thanks, ladies. The Clarity trainers are really sturdy. I'm really happy with them. All the students that I have that have them are really happy with them. So I'm glad you're sharing. And again, thank you, Irena. Congratulations for you who were here, and for all of those who stayed until the end of the video. That shows your commitment and your engagement with your own health, well-being, and of course, eyesight and vision. And as I usually say, take care, be happy, enjoy the beauty of life, and I'll see you again soon and better. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.